Right, I've got my 2000 Ford Ranger here that I've owned for quite a number of years, and the fender flares have really degraded over the years so that the color is bad, and no matter what kind of Renew product I put on them or Armor All, it just fades in a day or two. Of course, I tried the old hair dryer trick and that didn't last either. So this video is designed to teach you how to restore your fender flares from looking like this to looking like that. New again, for about $20 and with just a few basic hand tools and a couple of hours of work. Before we get started, I want to let you know that I am a Christian, and so once you get your truck all taken care of, I'd really appreciate it if you took a look at some of my other videos, especially that one on how to become a Christian. I'll post a link at the end of this video. And with that said, let's get started. Okay, in order to remove the fender flares, the first thing you'll need to do is to loosen several bolts that are holding them on the front and rear of the fender flare. Now these are held on by a 7/32. There's one here, one in the back, and then two underneath. And then on the front fender wells, I think there's an additional one in the front. So I'm going to take those out first, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, using a pair of cutters or dikes underneath the bottom of the wheel well here, we're simply going to cut all of these plastic fasteners like that. They go all the way around, and there's even one all the way underneath here. Don't worry about damaging them. Of course you'll damage them as I did here. These can be easily purchased from a local parts place, just Christmas tree fasteners. And so remove those next, and we'll get underway with the next step. Okay, with the fasteners out, we can go ahead and remove the lower mud guard. Now the next step is to remove all of the fasteners that are actually behind the fender flare here. You should know that the fasteners are no longer sold by Ford, and so they can't be replaced if they're damaged. So it's going to take a lot of care and patience to get those off successfully. So let me grab the tools that you'll need, and I'll show you how to get that done. Okay, I'm using a simple pick tool like this, and pulling the, so I can get a good shot here, pulling the fender well back exposes the fastener. And what you'd like to do is reach in and depress each side of the fastener so that it will pull away from the hole. Now sometimes when you do this, the fastener actually detaches from the fender flare and stays inside the truck. And that's okay too, as long as you don't break either of them. But the goal is using the pick to attempt to try to get in there and pry out each side of that fastener so that it releases and stays inside of the fender flare. Here's a better shot of those fasteners. I just wanted you to see them. So this portion here is inside of the body of the truck, and the flat portion is actually attached to the fender flare. So what I was attempting to show you earlier was reaching in as you pull on the fender flare backwards and pushing here and then on this side and releasing the fastener from the body. So hopefully that's a little more clear than what I showed you in the previous video there. Okay, the next thing I want to do is taking a tool. I just want to push all of the Christmas tree fasteners through the body and get them out of the way. Like that. And then I'm going to take some cleaner and a rag and go ahead and take the opportunity to clean underneath this fender flare so that the body's at least got a good starting point to reinstall them in just a minute. Okay, the next thing I want to do is just with sponge and some soapy water, I want to just wash off the fender flare so there's no debris or dirt left on them. And so that's been done. Now it's time to move on to the most important part, that is restoring them. Okay, here's the product I'll be using, Duplicolor trim and bumper paint, and I chose the gray color. It seems to match my truck the best. So 2 coats of this product, or maybe 3, depending on how much you want to use, will take care of the restoration. Let me just give you a quick view. I'll do most of it offline, but let me just show you what it looks like before and after here. Okay, here's a great shot of what things look like before. That's one of the old fender flares. and after. So really a nice difference between the two. Here's the after and of course the before. Really sharp. So I'm just going to flip over this mud flap so I can do the underside there. No need to do the underside of the fender flares, and then we'll reinstall them. Okay, the next thing we want to do is reinstall our fasteners to the fender flares here. Pretty straightforward. The fastener has 2 clips oriented like this, slid under, and those 2 clips will click into those indentations there. So I'm going to do this all the way around the fender flare, and then we'll install it. Okay, the next thing we want to do is line up the holes with the fasteners. And I'll do this the best I can with my knee here, and simply click them all into place. All the way around. Okay, the last thing to do is to pick up some more of these Christmas tree fasteners from the local auto parts place. Should be a piece of cake to do so. Once you have those, you're going to install those back into the holes to secure them firmly. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. So here's the restoration, what the truck looks like with the painted, restored fender flares. Actually looks brand new in person. Don't know if you can pick that up on the camera. Hey, I want to say thanks for listening to the video and watching. I want to let you know that I am a Christian, and I'd love it if you took the opportunity to cruise over to my other video on how to become a Christian. It would sure mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching, and God bless.